There it is.
How are you doing?
Connection's better, right? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
live now. I'm doing good, man. How you doing? Looks like you've been live for a while. You got everyone coming on lately.
Yeah, I've been grinding this past 2 years, and during this quarantine it hasn't slowed me down at all. So we're just grinding. I love that about you too. You grind a lot too.
Yeah, man, it's been crazy. Sorry, my man Jeremy said my hair is about to touch the ceiling. He's right. You know, all I know how to do is cut the sides. I don't know how to cut the top. So it's been getting a little crazy with quarantine over here.
None of those?
Man, I might have to soon. But
All right.
wife said she was gonna go online and do some YouTube videos and figure out how to cut the top so it doesn't get too crazy.
I just got mine done before the whole quarantine thing started. So a couple of days before I saw it coming, got mine done, and now I'm good to go.
Got lucky, man. You got lucky.
Uh, so I'd like to start off by saying thank you for joining me. And we were in New England actually back in September time. So I think we tried to see if you were out there. We didn't realize you were there. Where are you at now?
So I'm right outside of Dallas now. So I
Oh,
make it for a couple games, but man, I used to go to all of them. Got the family now. Got two kids. I got one on the way. Actually, within the next week or two, we should have our third boy. So,
congratulations.
but yeah, we're excited. It's crazy times right now, but it should be good. But yeah, we try to get to as many games as we can. It just kind of slowed down over the past couple of years with all the kids. So I might have been there, I might not have been, but I only made it to a couple games the past, not last year, the year before.
How's the quarantine been for you? Has the business life still been pretty hard and difficult? Not hard and difficult, but pretty time consuming, and probably a lot more time to spend with family too, right?
So it's been man, it's been just as busy as it's been. We really just had to find ways to get better. Find really ways to pivot. And so at first, yeah, it was sales dropped a lot, and we said, hey, these are different times. What can we do right now to make ourselves better? And we started doing everything that we could. So, started putting out blogs about health and fitness, working out at home, recipes. I was making all kinds of new stuff that
Yeah.
I have never made before, but I almost every week some of the things that I started making. So really just had to find a way to pivot and do new things that we never thought we'd do before. We started, putting feelers out for the gaming market, and I brought back my old headset, and I was breaking out some Call of Duty, and we just had to do what we had to do, and it's been fun, and it's what business is all about. It's ups and downs and it's slopes, and it's fine to get better. So, man, it's been fun to get creative again.
Absolutely. Now, let's start off here with this interview by introducing ourselves. I'll start with myself. So I know you've probably seen some of my work. I'm the 13-year-old president of my own sports media company, Global Kid Media. And so for the past 2 years, I've been covering NFL, NBA, college, and I'm working to be that first kid on national TV as a sports sideline reporter. And so these past 2 years have just been a grind. I'm working to that goal. Nothing stops any security guards who don't want me to be in certain things. That doesn't stop not getting access. It doesn't stop me. I just keep going and going and working. And I've also seen a little bit of the business side. So I make partnerships a lot of times with hotels, destinations, and restaurants to offset some of the costs that I have. And so that's a little bit about me. Now let's hear about you.
And yeah, you've been grinding, man. You've been hitting me up, sending me videos, everything, probably for like 2 years, like you said. And it's
Yeah.
been on who you've been able to get on the show and where you've shown up, man. You've shown up everywhere. So it's been
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, middle of five brothers, born and raised Buffalo, New York. Man, was lucky enough to get a scholarship to play football. University of Maryland, ended up transferring to Arizona. I never thought I had a chance in the NFL, so it was all about, hey, let's get there, let's have fun, and let's get the best education that I could while I was there. So I did that, got an accounting degree, was lucky enough to have a chance, one shot really. Went undrafted to the Cowboys. Had really one chance to make the team. I was able to make the team as an undrafted free agent. Started a year there, ended up going to Indy and Denver, starting a year at each of those as well. And finished up in San Diego, got hurt, got an injury settlement, and I was out. Most people might have thought it was a short career. It's actually longer than normal. I was able to get pension, 401k, all the benefits. I was vetted. So it was really a great start for me, for someone that never thought I had a chance. So I took that money and was able to go into business with it. And it was my first business, and still what we do now is we have a personalization company with my wife, Brittany. So she started it because she was sick of going and finding a new job in every city that I ended up in. So after 3 years, she was like, all right, I'm finding a way to work from home. She started to, and it turned into this big company. We ended up doing better my first year out of the NFL than I was playing in the league. So great start for us. The transition is usually super tough, and I got super lucky to be able to transition right into this successful company, help grow that, and for 5 years grew that company. Still have it today, still growing today. It's called Everything Decorated, but it was really my wife's passion. And so when I stumbled upon the idea for the ice shaker, I was in the gym, I was working out every day, and man, it was hot in Texas, and I just wanted a bottle that I could use all day, every day. And I was bringing one bottle to work. I was bringing one bottle to the gym. I was using another cup at home. And I just said, hey, I need to find a way to make one bottle for everything. And that's where the idea came from. So a lot of hard work after that, and a lot of shows and just grinding at that point. And I was able to get on Shark Tank, and it really, really helped, really took off from there. Went from one product, one bottle, one size, to over 150 different SKUs now today.
And I remember watching that Shark Tank. I was a lot younger back then. I didn't have a business, but that inspired me a lot to start my own company as well. And what I loved about that Shark Tank and the whole thing about your business is the energy that you bring, and you really being yourself, no matter where you're at, no matter who you're talking to. So that's what I really love about it. Now, one thing I want to ask you is, during this quarantine, for me, it's been all about learning new things, doing new things. So I taught myself how to juggle. Is there anything you taught yourself how to do or
Hey,
learn?
Rob actually did too. I saw him juggling. I don't know what
Oh,
he for, but he knows how to juggle now too. So I'm gonna have to try it too. One thing I learned was how to jump rope. That's one thing.
okay.
I couldn't do a double under, and I saw my friend do it, 40 of them in a row at a CrossFit competition. I was like, man, I can't even do one. And I know I could do it. I'm athletic enough to do it. I just didn't know how to do it. So it took a lot of practice. It took me an hour straight before I could even do a couple in a row. And then it was about a week process where I was able to then get to 40 of them in a row. So I was pretty proud of myself for that. Another thing that I picked up was just running. I always hated running outside. We have a really cool business now called Stadium Blitz, and it's an obstacle course race through stadiums. Well, we compete as brothers against each other. And the last one I was in, I lost by 1 second to my brother Glenn on a technicality. So I lost the belt, and I was pissed about it. So I started running, and it's helped a lot. It's something that helps clear my mind, and it's just a mental game for me. It's a challenge, and there's the only thing that stops you from going is your mindset. I sat there and I was like, man, why can't I run 5 miles like other people? And really, at the end of the day, it was just everything in my mind that was making me stop. I just had to find a way to get through that and change my mindset. And so it's been cool learning how to train my mind in tough situations like that. I've always been someone that was interval trained. For football, it was always 15 seconds on, 30 seconds back to the huddle, 15 seconds on. And so I really had to figure out a way to train myself to use my body in a different way for endurance instead of just burst of speed.
For me, it's actually been the opposite. So I've always been running since I was like I think 5 or 6 years old. My dad had us running a couple miles, and so I started to get myself an endurance and a little bit more stamina, building that stamina. So not the week after I turned 9 years old, there's a annual 10-mile event here where they run like 10 miles. So I was able to compete in that, and I almost beat my dad. I was behind him by about 15 seconds. So I was running about an hour, 25 minutes for the 10 miles. And so I was good at running, but the exercise part, like, hardcore lifting and abs and all that, I didn't really get until now. I'm starting to get into that a little bit more.
Oh yeah, that'll take you to the next level right there. Oh,
Yeah.
and give you the guns, baby.
Hey, do you have a jump rope on you right now? Let's have a competition. Can I juggle for longer, or can you jump rope longer?
No, I don't have one on me. Mine actually broke right
Oh,
after I got too good. I got too fast, and it ended up breaking on me. And I was supposed to order a new one, and I thought I did. My brother said he would send me one, and he never did. So I kind of stopped jump roping. So that's what happened in my career. So I still need a new rope. So once I get a new rope, I'm in.
all right. Sounds good. We'll have to challenge you then. So tell me about now the NFL career. You talked a little bit about going to Dallas, and what was that feeling like when you even went undrafted to the Dallas Cowboys, thinking before that you were just going to get your education, kind of move on with life. When you realized you still had a shot at getting into the NFL, and when you made that team, what was that like for you?
Man, I mean, I was motivated, and my motivation really came from the fact that all my other brothers were drafted, and I wasn't. So, I sat in the draft room when my brother Rob went second round. My brother Dan went to the Lions the year before. The brother ended up getting drafted in baseball too. So, my motivation at that time was so high because I didn't want to be the one brother that didn't make it and have that question for the rest of my life. Like, hey, man, your whole family played in the NFL. What happened to you? So
Yeah,
through the roof, man. And I knew I had one shot, and I got put into this really, I would say, pretty lucky situation where my roommate at the time was actually my college roommate from Maryland. His name was Phil. And what was really cool about it was, man, same mind. He came in undrafted, and we kind of made this pact on the first day that we got there. And we said we're going to do everything that we possibly can to make this team, and that's what it turned into, man. Like we were having, we basically called it subs parties. Like we were taking our vitamins and protein, everything like that, and just crushing food and doing everything that we possibly could to be the best version of ourselves over the summer. And man, we pushed each other so hard, and when we finally got to camp, man, we were ready. I was in the best shape of my life by far, and I was so motivated. We were both so motivated. We were both pushing each other so hard at that next level. So once we made the team, he actually got found out first. They told him before cut day that he was on the team, and I was like that's a good feeling, right? And
yeah.
I had to sit through what we called, it was cut day, and we called him the Grim Reaper, and he would walk in the room, and he would point to someone, and if he pointed to you, it basically meant you were cut. So I was sitting in that room, and guys were just getting pointed out, and then at the end of it, our coach just walked in and said, "Congratulations," and I was like, "Man, I just still didn't believe it. Like, there's no way that this is really happening." And even at that point, it was, you could get cut the next day. A lot of guys got cut that day, so they still trade for other guys and they move guys in. And so even at that time, I was like, man, this is never under process for me. Like I always am going to have to grind at this level to stay on the team because nothing was guaranteed. Even after I made it, I could get cut the next week, and that happened to guys. Even the next day, if someone came on the waiver wire that was, they thought was a little bit better than you, they could pick them up and release you. So as much as I kind of enjoyed it, and I was super pumped for making the team, it wasn't really like I ever truly made it in my mind.
Okay. Okay. Now, growing up with your four other brothers, how much competitiveness was there in that house? And for you being right in the middle, was it kind of like you were around with everyone? Were you kind of in the middle of every fight?
Oh man, it was as rowdy as it could get. I mean, every day started with a fight, ended with a fight, and yeah, I was in the middle. What we did was we always went after the brother that was a little bit older than you. And so I would go after Dan. Rob was 2 years younger than me. He'd go after me, and then if I couldn't take out Dan, I would try to beat up Dan's friends then. And we were usually a little bit bigger for our age, so I had a chance, against his friends, and I do that. So man, just nonstop fighting. But I think it did. It bred competition. You always wanted to beat your brother, and if you were the older brother, you could not be beat by the younger brother. That was the worst thing that could possibly happen to you. So all day, every day, we were competing in everything. We played backyard baseball. We called it mini sticks. We had like the little um, little plastic sticks. We put them in the stove and we curved the blade. So we put them in hot water on the stove and we curved the blade, and we go in the basement and we play hockey with them. But everything was just it was a competition, man, in every single sport, every single aspect, even eating. We sit down, we see who could eat more or faster. It was crazy. And so I think that really helped us, took us to another level. But we were always outside, we were always doing something. Our parents just would not let us sit inside and watch TV because we had way too much energy. We were too crazy. It was just too much. So it was always just get outside, go play. And we had like the best neighborhood that you could grow up in. And I had a podcast with my mom the other day, and she's like, "Yeah, we called it Testosterone Lane because it was like 90% boys. They were all your age, so we always had somebody to play with." And in Buffalo, there's no fences. Like you just walk into your neighbor's yard, and you start playing with them. And
Yeah.
kind of different now because I'm in Texas, and every person has a fence. And if someone walks through your yard now, it's kind of like, "Hey, what are you doing in my yard?" In Buffalo, you ran into your neighbor's yard, and everything was just free game. And everyone was friends. So we just had the whole neighborhood. At some point we go to their house, they come to ours, and we just grew up playing outside. And I think that really took us to another level, just with everything, with competition, but also just athletic wise, hand-eye coordination. Playing tag, everything you could think of, we were doing as kids, and we're always so active.
Was it also a competition in the classroom, and to this day, does it still continue? Are you always competing against everything?
So I competition in the classroom wasn't too hard against Rob, but no, we always had our work done, and that's something that our parents always put first. Was that you were going to do your homework, you were going to get it done before you went outside and played, and so that was always instilled in us from day one. So it wasn't even a thing where like, hey, you come home and you go outside. It was like, hey, you come home and you do your work. And I asked my mom, I was like, how'd you get us to do our homework before we went outside? And she's like, that's how it always was. Like, there was no other option. You were coming home, you were doing your work, we are going to figure it out, and then you were going to go outside and play. So, yeah, school wise, so competition wise in school, I was lucky. I had this photographic memory, and I had the best grades in my class, and my teachers hated me because they didn't think I was listening, but somehow I would sit in the room. I'd be fooling around, messing around with my friend next to me. He would get a C on the test, and I would get an A+. And they would be like, "This guy's cheating." And I was just lucky. I was super blessed with a very good memory, and I was really good at math and science. And really, the only thing that was a challenge was English for us, just writing. I think that was the same for pretty much our whole family.
Yeah, I can tell you, I'm a couple of years ahead in certain subjects like math and science and English, and I struggle a little bit in science and English especially. So those two are hard for me. It's not because I'm smart that I got ahead, but I think just like you and your family, we always try to find ways to be different. And so I did something different, which is I did some classes online, so I was able to get ahead that way versus going in the classroom. So I love that about online work. And going back to the business now, I love what you're doing with the business. I love what it's about. Tell everyone more about it.
Yeah, so Ice Shaker, really, the whole premise behind it is helping people live a more active and healthy lifestyle. So that's really what I created it for. I created it for myself. I was someone going to the gym all day, every day, and just said, hey, I want this product for myself. It will help me throughout the day. I'll have cold water. I'll always have water. I'll be drinking more water, but at any time I could also get a shake in. So if I'm traveling in the airport,
Yeah.
I forget a meal, and I think that's primarily when it happens. I'm like, hey, I always have some protein on me. I can always toss it in my bottle. I can always shake it up. I'm good to go. So the whole idea was, let's just make a better bottle all day, every day. And so much has grown from it. It's so much more than just, a bottle. Everything we do is to try to bring value to customers. And that's how we look at it as a company now at this point. And really to start this year, we had a big meeting about it with the whole team and just said, hey, what can we do to bring value to our customers? Everything that we do should be structured around that. Our posts, our emails, everything that we're putting out there, recipes, even if it's, it doesn't even have to help or even talk about the product. It just has to help our customers live a more active and healthy lifestyle. So that's why I absolutely love it. And it's fun. That's why I wanted to do it. It was my passion. Super successful with my wife's company, and it still is, and I still help her. But at the end of the day, this is what I wanted to do. It's been an absolute grind. It always will be. But man, when you love it and when it's something you like to do, you're gonna first be successful with it, but you're also you're gonna grind, man. You're gonna just keep going, and you're gonna have fun with it.
And what I loved, I was looking through your site, and what I loved is what you guys were doing for military veterans. Tell everyone about what that's about.
Yeah, so we do a cool campaign now. It's with Operation Supply Drop. So they send a bunch of product overseas. It's all from former military guys that started it up, and it's care packages. So what we wanted to do was, support our military, support our active military that protect our freedoms. So we partnered up with them. It came to a point for us where we were getting so many requests for the product that we couldn't financially support it anymore. I never said no to any military member that reached out to us. And so after a while, it just got to that point where like, man, I can't say no, but I got to find a way to financially support this because it's becoming a lot. And
Yeah.
full batteries of guys would hit us up, and there's 100 guys in a battery. So it was hard to continue much product out. So we ended up partnering up with Operation Supply Drop, and our first thing we did with them, we sent out over 1,000 bottles out. We partnered up with them, Starbucks, and Adaptive Training Foundation, which trains some of our vets that actually got wounded while serving the country. And so we partnered up with them, and then after that, we said, hey, how can we continue to do this? So they create really cool designs for us. Anyone who buys these designs that we customize on the bottles, we then send a bottle to the troops. So for the first quarter, we had 2 designs. I think we just up the numbers. We just sent the product out to Operation Supply Drop. We averaged over like 4 or 5 bottles a day that we were sending out to the troops. So really cool, really successful, really cool way to support our troops. And we just launched our new designs. We just launched 2 new designs for this quarter, and we'll do the same thing. Hopefully, continue to accelerate that so that we could send more and more product over to the troops.
That is amazing. And I have an idea that I wanted to share with you that I'm trying to do with Global Kid Media. Since I'm Global Kid Media, I wanted to find a way to help support the kids who have been affected by COVID-19 directly. And so by doing that, like, some kids have lost a parent to the virus, and I want to be able to help them because they're the direct victims of it. The way I want to do this is I'm trying to find some corporate partnerships that'll be able to, give $1,000 to a family for each interview, for each big star interview I do. And that way, number one, a lot of athletes will want to tune in because, they'll want to help out the cause. The corporate companies will, number one, be donating to COVID and helping out these people. And they're also going to get some good publicity. And overall, the biggest thing in that is that it's going to help these families.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's a great idea.
Yeah, so I'm working towards that. And man, I made a little poster right here. Tell me what you think of that. I'm gonna go. I think it's mirrored off a little bit, so let me. There we go.
There you go, man.
All right.
Did you make it up?
What was that?
Did you make it yourself?
Yeah, my mom helped me make that. I have a logo that I made like on a computer, so I was trying to like put that on paper. Since we can't go anywhere, I couldn't print it, so I tried to put that one on paper. But
Do what you got to do, man.
We got to do what we got to do. That's true. I have an idea to call this show. What do you think some names for the show should be? I thought Global Kid Media, Our Power, especially with you. You're a strong guy.
I like it, man. I like it. So yeah, how many of these are you doing? I mean, is this something that you're doing every day, or is it?
I started at the beginning of this week, and so I've been doing one every day since then. I have one set up for tomorrow and the day after as well. And so, yeah, I've just been grinding for the past while. I'm trying, like I said, I'm working to be that first kid on national TV as a sports sideline reporter. I know Nickelodeon's doing like a playoff game next year, and that's going to be around kids. So I've been trying to reach out to them and see what I can do there because I think I'm qualified. I've done about 1,000 interviews and
Wow.
A lot of sideline ones. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get up there.
Yeah, keep going, man. Keep doing your thing. I mean, I see you showing up everywhere. You keep going, that's going to happen.
I appreciate it. Now let's talk about your podcast. Tell me a little bit about your podcast, who you've had on recently.
Yeah, the podcast is called Gronked Up. Really started it just to bring value to people. Same thing that we've been talking about the whole time. I was getting a lot of questions about, how do I be healthy was one of them. A lot about business as well, Facebook ads, emails, setting up a website, sourcing products, really everything you could think of to start a company. I was getting asked. So I just, when I respond, it would be something simple like, hey, here's a 1 or 2 line response. And it really wasn't what people wanted to hear. So I said, hey, how can I do this more efficiently and give them a better answer? And that's where Gronked Up came from. So, we've broken down all kinds of things on the show that really bring value to anyone trying to start a business, live a healthier, more active lifestyle, nutrition, lifting, everything you could think of, we've thrown on there. And then once this whole pandemic hit, we started bringing on awesome guests. So we said, hey, let's bring on people that can really help bring value at time. So we brought on, nutrition coaches, diet coaches. We brought on mindset people with just Navy SEALs with, mindset coaching, all that, everything that we could think of to help. And then lately, we just been bringing on some pretty cool people too. We had my brother on, my mom on. We'll have our NFL agent, Rosenhaus, will be on this Friday. We recorded with Pat McAfee yesterday, so we're super excited to have him on as well. That will release on Monday. So we've had a lot of cool guests at this point, and just trying to take advantage of a little bit of extra time that we have to reach out to people that we think will really bring value and help. So podcast has been a lot of fun, but it's really about bringing value. There's so many podcasts out there, and at the end of the day, I didn't want to just tell a story. I wanted to tell a story that also brought value to people, and that's what we did. So check it out. It's everywhere. It's on Apple. It's on Spotify. Really on anywhere you can listen to podcasts. It's on there.
Now, you've been on my podcast. I'd love to be on yours and talk with you there too.
Yeah, man. So did you use this as a podcast as well, or is this just
This is just, I'm going to end up screen recording this afterwards and just posting it up as a regular interview on Instagram. I'm also trying to find a way to create my Instagram and just directly I don't know if there's any apps that can help you create a website from your Instagram, because I need to create a website, and it would help to be able, because I've written pretty much like a long caption on every post, and I feel like if I could just directly transform that to a website, that would be pretty cool. But
yeah, help a lot with SEO. You could also, there's a couple apps out now that I'm looking into more, where when you go live, you could broadcast on more than just Instagram Live. You could go on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and get on them all at once. So you could really, at LinkedIn as well. I think you do pretty well on LinkedIn too. But you'd be able to reach all 5 platforms at once instead of just Instagram Live. Really cool option, and you put so much time and effort into all this. You should try to just reach as many people as possible when you do something awesome like this.
appreciate it. Actually, LinkedIn, they deleted my account because I'm not 16 years old, so they said I'm not old enough to have a LinkedIn. So my dad has to do everything from his account for me, since I don't know, I'm not allowed to have a LinkedIn. There's a lot of interesting age restrictions and different things. For example, the Pro Bowl in 2019, I was covering it as an 11-year-old, and then this year they said, or as a 12-year-old, and then this year they said there was a new contact that came in, and they said I'm too young to cover it. I'm like, I covered it last year when I was a year younger. They're like, no, you're a security risk. I said, what about the kids coming from contests like Panini America, Sports Illustrated for Kids? And unfortunately, those are the obstacles you run through, but you just got to find a way to get around it and continue to grind. So that's what I do, stand outside hotels, stand outside stadiums. Yeah, we break those barriers.
Yeah, man. You've been doing it. You've been doing it for sure. How many places have you been kicked out of by security?
Uh, Probably more than I can count on my fingers. Like there has been a lot. For example, in Orlando, we went on a long road trip I'm in Michigan. We went on a long road trip this year. We started off by going to Atlanta, which is a 12-hour drive, to cover LSU and Oklahoma with no access. And then we were planning on coming back, and we decided to go another 8 hours to Orlando to cover Alabama and Michigan in the Under Armour All-American game. And so at the Alabama team hotel, the security guard, so we were just in there minding our own business, just talking to a couple of people. A security guard came up to us and kicked us out. He said, don't talk to me. You have no right to be here. So we got outside and we explained ourselves, and we're like, we're not going to leave. We're in our place. We're in a public hotel. So we came back the next 2 days, and we kept working because sometimes security guards want to tell you things. They just want to get you out of there, and sometimes they just don't know exactly what they're doing. For example, in the Final Four last year, I actually had access, and I was in the Zion Williamson press conference, and when I came out, a security guard snatched my phone and started deleting my pictures and videos for really no reason. So I started talking to other security guards that she was wrong to do that. They wouldn't let me go and catch Zion after the press conference like every other media was allowed to do. So that's just how it's been.
Man, it's a grind, man. It's that nothing's easy though, man. And that's what I love about it. You're not giving up. This is your dream. This is your, and same thing with everything, man. So keep it up. Keep up the grind, and you'll get there, man. You're already making a name for yourself at such a young age. It's super inspiring to see. You're just gonna get better at what you're doing.
I appreciate it. Now, Last year, Rob had a little bit of a career in broadcasting. What did you think about that?
Man, that was that was funny, man. He came out with a boom, that's for sure. And yeah, he gets better and better. I mean, it's challenging, and I give him a lot of credit for a lot of things that he does because, man, you don't realize how nerve wracking it is until you get out there and do it yourself. So he got a lot better as he went, but he came out ready, I think. And then he's done so many other things since then, and I think that his on screen personality and just comfortableness with it has gotten so good. And a lot of the stuff he's done recently is good. So he has a show coming out called Game On that I'm super excited to watch. I thought him on The Masked Singer was pretty good. That was a good time too. And,
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's been good. It's been good. I've had a lot of fun watching everything that he did in the off season, and it's fun to watch him on the field again.
And so you have a lot of competitiveness, you said, with your brothers. Would you like to compete with Rob for the broadcasting stuff?
Oh man, I don't think I'll ever get that opportunity. But
You're in luck because I'm going to give you that opportunity right now. I do a segment on here called Flip the Switch. So the people I'm interviewing, I flip the switch and have them interview me. So I'm going to do that right now.
okay,
What questions do you have for me? Let's go.
man, what questions do I have for you? What is your dream job, man? What's the goal at the end of this? Where do you want to be? Is it NFL Network, Monday Night Football, or what's that dream position for you?
In the short term, just to be on national TV as a sports sideline reporter, basketball, football, baseball, something at ESPN, CBS. I had a meeting with the CBS sports executive, the chairman, Sean McManus, in New York City. So we went out there to do that, and we had a meeting with a producer as well. So I'm trying to get on there in the short term within the next 2 years. Long term goal, I don't know if I want to be in media by the time I'm 20 or 30. By then, I want to try to build up my business just like you've done and build that up, help other kids, work on social causes. So I'm trying to start an initiative to stop the whale hunting in Japan and Iceland. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. They kill like huge schools of whales every year for the meat and blubber, which is just brutal. And so I'm working to try to help those things in the long term. That's the vision right now. I still got a long ways to go.
Yeah, I like it, man. Where'd this passion come from? Where'd the grind come from? I mean, is your family or friends going into into what you're doing right now, or where did this all this passion come from for what you're doing right now?
Well, I have a great support system in my family. Normally my dad he drives me everywhere I need to go, and sometimes my mom and my sister come along with us. And so, he's always told me and my sister from a young age that we want to do something good in the world. He ingrained in us to always give back, and so I wanted from a young age to find a way to inspire millions of kids. And it started off in fourth grade. I saw this poem and I wanted to read it to my high school because at my high school, a couple kids every year were committing suicide. And this poem was about how everyone's a special person. And so I took that poem as a third or fourth grader and I went to my high school and I asked to read it on the announcement. So after a little bit of persistence, I was able to get up there and read that poem and it had a great effect. And I realized I really could go somewhere with inspiring so many millions of kids. And so I started doing speech competitions thinking I would get in the speaking circuit. One day there was an opportunity to apply for an organization to be a kid sideline reporter for that organization. And so I applied, and they said interview one person about something that they've done in their community. And I said, I want to go big. So I called 50 different people at Michigan and Michigan State during the NCAA tournament time to try to get access to the NCAA tournament. It happened to be in Detroit that year, the first and second rounds. So they gave me access. I went out there, I did my thing. That's when I realized I had a niche for media. And so I interviewed so many different people, got so many good responses. And unfortunately, the organization said, we're shocked. We've never seen anyone do this. This was SI for Kids. They said, no one's ever done this before, and we didn't really expect you to do that, and we feel like you might have misrepresented us a little bit. And so they declined me. And I said, you know what, that's fine. I can quit or I can start my own company and keep going with this. And I said, there's never been a kid on national TV as a sports sideline reporter. So what does that do when a kid sees that? It's going to inspire them. And I just took off running with that idea.
Wow, man. So you're fearless, especially at a young age. I mean, I would have never read a poem on my announcements. I can tell you that. I mean, I was pretty shy as a kid. Is there anything that you're scared of? What's your biggest fear? I mean, public speaking or anything like that? Does that what is the one thing that you're scared of?
Um, you know, when I first started in media, I was always like really scared of the security guards because when you're 11 or 12 years old and you get actually surrounded by, so I'll tell you a story. We were at Kyle Kuzma's basketball camp that I was signed up for, and we had talked to his mom, and so we tried to talk to her at the camp, and she surrounded us with 6 security guards, and they said, "You're going to get out of here right now, and if you don't, we're going to call the Flint police." And so as a 12-year-old, like to be surrounded by 6 security guards for only trying to say hi to someone is a little bit extreme. So I got inside, like that was something that, really, really puts a weight in my heart for a long time. And after it happened more and more, I realized that you just have to persevere past it. And that's what I've been able to do.
Man, that's impressive, man. You are. I know when I was that age, I was not thinking about really anything in my future at all. I mean, it's amazing how far you've gone already, and you're so young, man. It's incredible. So by the time you're, man, even past college and uh, man, in your 20s, you're going to be so far ahead of one who's just starting. So it's going to be super impressive where you get. Uh, Man, what any more questions for me, or do you want me to keep drilling you?
Keep going. Let's go. Keep it on. I'm
uh,
liking where this conversation's going.
so do you play any sports yourself, or what got you into the sports?
Well, see, I play sports all year round, and so I start off by going to the high school in the morning. I'm an eighth grader, so I get up an hour earlier than most kids my age to go to the high school, take two classes there. Then I go to the middle school, finish up my day there. Then I have sports for 2.5 hours afterwards. So I play football, I wrestle, I swam this year, and I was getting ready to do track season. And so right after right after that, sometimes I come home and I do my homework, do a little bit with my business, and that's pretty much my day. And sometimes, like during the Super Bowl time, it was that Thursday before Super Bowl Sunday, and I just came home. We had reached out to some people at MSC Cruises about sponsoring me and taking me out to Miami and just for me to work and interview players and promote them. And I didn't think much of it, so I just came home on a Thursday after a really long day of school, and so I finished up my homework, and my dad came up to me and told me that we were booking a flight to Miami that day. So we ended up booking a late night flight. We didn't get into our hotel until 4 or 5 in the morning. And then the next day we had to get up, and we didn't have any access at the Super Bowl again. So we caught so many players just at events, at hotels. And I missed 30 plus days of school this year doing this business. And it gets to be a toll sometimes with the classes I'm taking, but I find a way. I find a way.
I like it. So let's talk a little bit more about the business then. This is all being funded by yourself or your parents, or is money coming in at this point, or how are you financially supporting it at this point?
So the way that I financially support it is when we normally drive everywhere we go. And so what I do is in the car for like 5 or 6 hours, I'm calling hotels and I'm asking for a partnership. So basically they'll give me the stay in exchange for me promoting their hotel on my social media. And normally it ends up working out. And they even like at Marriott will sometimes give me a couple extra points so that I can use it if say I don't get a partnership one time. And so that offsets the hotel. When I go to restaurants, sometimes I do the same thing with them as I partner with them and they'll provide the meal. And so that pretty much offsets any cost. As far as profit goes, I don't really get any until I do a sponsorship like I did with the MSC. Um, it was great that MSC was able to sponsor me because they had their Super Coral Play initiative. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of it. It's basically where they're trying to save the corals in the oceans because pretty soon those are going to be gone, and that's what the ocean lives off of. That's what we kind of live off of too, the corals. So that was a great initiative, and I was fortunate enough to be able to do that.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's impressive. How are you currently, like you said before, you don't have a website right now, or you do have one, or no?
No, not yet.
Are you on YouTube? YouTube something big for you?
it's not something big for me. Recently, I started posting a lot more. So this interview today or tomorrow is going to go up on YouTube. Um, I had one on Monday with Seth Greenberg, so that one's already up there. That was a really nice feature. Yesterday, I had one with Anish Shroff from ESPN, so that one went up there too. And this one, I'm really liking where this one's going.
I like it. Yeah, man. I would say definitely YouTube's a great place because lives like this are great. But if you don't transfer it over to a platform where it can live on, you almost lose it. You also get the SEO from it, so people can search for it. It's going to pop up on Google. So YouTube is something you want to build on. It's tough, but it's where the money's at, and it's something we want to focus on ourselves as well. I think you're so young at this point. You need to just start stacking and make it almost a knowledge base. So website, YouTube for sure, Facebook page. I'm sure you have, but I like Instagram. I like it, but I think it's hard to really be an information source and really big with it. So uh, definitely work on site. I would say get that up, get all your content on there. That's something that you're gonna start ranking on Google, and it takes a long time. SEO on Google is tough, and it took us a long time to rank for a lot of terms. But you're young and you're doing it now. So if you did it 2 years ago, you would already start ranking for a lot of cool people that you already interviewed. And for instance, if someone searched, I would come up on your page and on that as well. So just yeah, man, you have a lot of cool content, a lot of cool things you're doing. Film all that. Film all the behind the scenes. Film you getting kicked out, man. People love seeing that. People love the grind, and you're doing it. So get it on and get it up now and get it up as soon as you can because that stuff's all valuable and it'll just continue to build.
That's really good advice. And I have someone here asking Nathan, his handle is Champagne Yankee Fitness. He also has a podcast. I would go check it out on his page. You said, what was your role model, Chris? Who is your role model, and what is your favorite workout?
I like it, man. Let's see. I'll do the easy question first. My favorite workout. I'm probably going with right now. I'm gonna go with back and biceps, and then I'm gonna finish it off with a nice ab routine. All about the abs. You gotta look good. So those right now, my favorite. It's been tough without the gym. I'm waiting to go back to the gym to really crush it. Nice back out. So pumped for that. But that might be a little while for me. Then role model, man, definitely my parents. So my parents for sure. Growing up, my dad was working 6 years. He worked 2 jobs, his own business, and my mom had 5 boys, which is just insanity. Uh, I'm like, I mean, I have 2 now. I have the third one on the way, and I'm like, how did you have 5? I mean, full-time job in every single meal that we ate, whether it was at home, if we were at school, my mom made it. She packed every one of our lunches. She had food ready when we got home, and she drove us to eat every practice, which was insanity because all of us were on multiple teams and we were playing multiple sports at the same time. So she had this huge calendar to be filled in with like 10 to 15 things of just driving those places. And it was so cool to see. And I didn't really realize how much, she was doing at the time. And I'm so appreciative for it now. But, she had to figure out ways coordinate with other moms, other parents, just to get us to practice and back because it was physically impossible for her to drive us to each and every one of them. So my parents, 100%, they taught us everything from respecting a dollar, man, how to earn a dollar and the value of it and hard work and everything that we got, we had to earn. Even when we got scholarships, it wasn't, hey, every other kid got a free car. It was, if you want that car still for college, you better come work at my dad's company or save up some money from whatever you're doing so that you can afford a car so you had it in man, it sounds like tough love, but at the end of the day, I hope I'm strong enough to do that with my kids because it taught us. And it's tough to do because you want your kids to have everything in the world. And, at first, maybe my parents didn't have that money, but as my dad, became more successful in business, the money was there after a while, after I was going to college, they were well off, but they started at nothing. My dad, when he first met my mom tells it all the time, he had like $17 in account. So really, it was cool to watch him build it from absolutely nothing to third largest distributor of fitness. But 100% my parents really, as I get older and older, I appreciate more everything that they did for us.
That's amazing, and your parents are amazing. That's incredible. Now let's do something. Let's have you do your favorite workout, and I'm gonna juggle and interview you at the same time. So let's do a rapid fire. This is the toughest part of the interview.
All right, man. I'm gonna have to crank out some abs or something over here.
All right, let's get it. I'm getting up too. All right, let's do it.
I'm ready.
All right. What's your favorite color?
Blue, baby, blue.
Favorite food?
Oh, I'm going with steak.
Snake. Where
Steak.
did you have
Oh,
that?
no, not a snake. A steak.
Oh, a steak. Okay, I thought you said it's a snake.
Nah, man.
All right. Well, that's it for my juggling. I just dropped the ball.
That
Here goes that.
was it.
You won that challenge. You definitely won that one. So, um, I I just want to end by saying I really appreciate the time. What you got going is something amazing. It inspires a lot of people. How you've been able to play in the NFL, start your own business, give back to people, and be yourself and be so energetic at the same time. That's really amazing. And so I really appreciate everything. Let everyone know about me. I'd really appreciate that because as I'm building up, I'm really trying to get big with connections.
Absolutely, man. Keep up the hard work, man. You're doing it. You're 13. You got so much time in front of you too, and you're already, man. So keep grinding. Keep putting that work in. Like I said, make sure people see it. You'll get it on every platform that you can, because the more people you reach, man, you're just gonna keep building. So keep it up. Thanks for having me on. Great,
Yeah.
man. You know what you're doing, and it's been fun. It's been fun.
And I'd love to come on your podcast too if there's ever an opportunity. So let me know about that.
And we're booked out until next month, but after that, I got spots open.
All right. Now, one more thing here. Tampa Bay, when Rob went there, was there any being such a close family, did you have any hints beforehand or did it just kind of happen?
So, man, like I didn't even believe it was going to happen, but he started doing some things where I thought that maybe he was thinking about it, but he never told us. I don't think he was even 100% sure until he got. It really came down to his last day when he really told the family that he was going to go back, and he wanted to make sure he was healthy, that he had that physical done, that he was 100% going to come back. So he didn't want us to tell us anything until that point. So I had an idea maybe because I saw him training, and I'm like, man, you're going pretty hard for for just hanging out and chilling.
Yeah.
And so when I saw him get to that level, I was like, yeah, he's there might be something going on, but yeah, we really didn't know until pretty much the week of that he was going to come back.
Wow. Oh, and I'd appreciate if I could get him on too. So now we're gonna find Chris Gronkowski hanging out in Tampa Bay, huh?
Yeah, we've been there. Rob had a house there about 6 years ago. We sold it, so it's a really cool place. My mom's in Fort Myers, which is a couple hours away, but we're pretty familiar with Tampa. Our championship for Stadium Blitz actually will be in Tampa as well, and we had an event there last year in Tampa too. So really cool stadium. Pirate Ship is the place to be, especially when it's really hot out. So yeah, definitely check it out, and I'm excited to go. Hopefully everything goes smooth this year with everything with the virus and the NFL and everything starts on time. So I'm excited to get there.
You maybe get to see your brother playing in a home game at the Super Bowl this year, huh?
Yeah, man, no, it's never happened before, and I don't want to jinx it, but this year haven't happened before, so I think it's a possibility. I know when I was with the Cowboys, they said the same thing. He said, the Super Bowl is going to be here this year. We got to make it, but it's never been done before, and I think it jinxed us. We started 1-5, so I don't want to wish that on them, and I don't think that's going to happen to them. I think it's going to be a first for the first time ever. So hopefully it happens. They win it. We'll have to put the Gronk Beach Party on hold for a year, but that's all good. That's worth it.
And when I get this COVID idea rolling, I'd love to have all five of you brothers on the show and have a family interview for to help those kids. So Whenever it
Yeah,
gets rolling, I'll let you know.
you got to do the split screen on. I think on YouTube actually will allow 6 people on at once. That's the way to do it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'll get that rolling by the time the idea gets rolling, and we'll go from there.
Awesome, man.
All right, I appreciate it so much. I wish you good luck, and thank you so much.
Thank you, man. We'll talk soon.
Talk soon. Take care.
Later, man.